Today, we are diving into the absolutely epic story of a single, humble green leaf. I know, it might not look like much, but trust me, its journey spans continents, cultures, and thousands of years. This is the story of Molokhia and how it quietly shaped huge parts of our world.
Yeah, you heard that right. 36 centuries. We're talking about a plant with a history that stretches all the way back to the Pharaohs and continues right into the trendiest kitchens today. It's like a culinary globetrotter with a story that's as rich and complex as the dishes it creates. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's wild. The story kicks off in ancient Egypt, where Mulukhiyah was food literally fit for a king. Then you get this dramatic ban in 1005 AD by a caliph who thought it was a little too stimulating. Fast forward almost 1,000 years and boom, it's a marketing sensation in 1980s Japan before becoming the global staple we know today. So, where did this all begin? Well, the name itself, Mulukhiyah, gives us a pretty big clue. It comes from the Arabic word Mulukhiyah, which means belonging to royalty. This wasn't just any old vegetable. This was the king of vegetables, something special, reserved for the highest tables in the ancient world.
Okay, to really understand this leaf's journey, we've got to start at its source. Egypt. The Egyptian preparation of Molokhia is the classic, It's the original, the baseline, against which every other version is measured. And it's so much more than a recipe, it's a whole ritual.
The single most important part of this whole thing is the talia. Now, this isn't just frying some garlic. It's a moment of pure culinary theater. You have to imagine that explosive sizzle when the hot ghee, just packed with garlic and coriander, hits the soup. That sound, that smell, that is the soul of Egyptian Molokhia. So here's how it all comes together. The leaves are meticulously chopped down until they're almost a paste, and that's what creates this uniquely silky smooth texture. It's simmered with chicken or, traditionally, rabbit. Then comes that dramatic talea, and finally, it's all poured over a bed of fluffy white rice. This is the foundational text of the whole Molokhia story. But as soon as we travel north from Egypt into the Levant, we're talking Palestine and Jordan here, the story takes an immediate and decisive turn. The moment that leaf crosses the border, a fundamental debate begins. And the difference is right there, plain and simple. While Egyptians insist on chopping the leaves into oblivion, in the Levant, they're often kept whole. Now, this isn't a small detail. It completely changes the texture and the experience of the dish. It makes it heartier, gives it more bite. In Palestine, Molokhia becomes this huge statement of identity. These questions that seem so minor, tomato or no tomato, chili or no chili, they actually define a family's recipe, one that's been passed down for generations. The dish is a living conversation, a tradition that's still being debated at the dinner table. And then in Jordan, there's another little twist. While the Palestinian and Jordanian versions are very similar, Jordanians often serve the chicken whole, right on the bone, sitting on top of the stew. This just makes the dish feel more rustic, bolder, more substantial. It's the same leaf, same love, but a totally different attitude. So, if you thought the whole leaf debate was a major shift, you need to get ready for Tunisia, because here, the leaf doesn't just change form, it undergoes a complete metamorphosis. Seriously, this isn't a variation, it's a total reinvention.
Look at this process. The fresh leaves are completely dehydrated under the hot Tunisian sun and then ground into this fine powder. That powder is then slowly cooked in olive oil before being simmered for hours with these huge, tender chunks of beef or lamb. It's a real low and slow technique that builds an unbelievable depth of flavor. And the result is just astonishing. It's not a soup anymore, it's this thick, dark, profound sauce. The flavor is so concentrated, earthy, and incredibly rich. And the serving rule is absolute. You eat it with bread for dipping. To serve Tunisian Molokhia with rice would be like a culinary crime.
Okay, so far we've stayed pretty much within the Arab world. But this leaf just kept traveling. It crossed oceans and landed in places with totally different palates and traditions. So what happens when this ancient leaf meets entirely new culinary philosophies?
This is where the story gets truly mind-bending. We're going to look at two countries, Japan and Nigeria, that embrace Molokhia in completely separate, unconnected ways. One is a pretty modern adoption, and the other is an ancient parallel discovery.
So in Japan, the leaf, known there as Moroheiya, shows up in the 1980s with some absolutely brilliant marketing. Tying it to Cleopatra's beauty and longevity? Genius. It became an instant superfood hit. But what really made it stick was its texture. The Japanese palate already loves that slimy, velvety quality you find in foods like natto and okra, so Moroheiya felt both familiar and exciting.
And they didn't just copy the Middle Eastern recipes. Oh no, they innovated. Japanese cooks invented entirely new ways to use the leaf. Lightly blanched with soy sauce, fried as crispy tempura, mixed into soups and dumplings. They even invented Moroheiya noodles. This wasn't just adoption. It was a full-on creative explosion.
Now, let's take a journey to West Africa. In Nigeria, the Yoruba people call this exact same leaf Ewedu. And here is the absolutely mind-blowing part. They've been cooking with it for centuries. This isn't something that was imported from Egypt. It's a parallel culinary evolution. The same plant, discovered and loved independently on the same continent.
This table just lays out how different these two worlds are. Japan's discovery is modern. It's driven by marketing. Nigeria's is ancient, woven deep into the fabric of Yoruba soul food. And the flavors? Worlds apart. In Japan, you get these clean, savory notes of soy sauce and dashi. In Nigeria, you get the deep, complex funk of dried crayfish and iru, fermented locust beans, which delivers this powerful umami punch you will not find anywhere else. Both cultures embrace the leaf, but they heard a completely different song in it.
So, after this incredible journey, what have we really learned? From Egypt to Nigeria, from Palestine to Japan, we've seen one single leaf take on just countless forms. But underneath all those differences, a really powerful unifying theme emerges.
It's a story of history, connecting us directly to the tables of the pharaohs. It's a story of identity, where a single choice, whether you chop a leaf or add a chili, defines exactly who you are.
And ultimately, it's a story of love, prepared in every single one of these kitchens as an act of care for family and a connection to the past. From a royal secret to a global comfort food, Mulukhiyah proves that the simplest ingredients can hold the most profound stories. It really makes you wonder, if one single green leaf can contain all this history, identity, and love, what incredible stories are just waiting to be discovered in the food you eat every single day?